After the Law of Attraction, The Secret movie came out, a lot of people focus a lot on being positive because they believe by you being positive, you attract positivity into your life. I definitely agree that positivities are very important to live a very joyous life. But I also believe that all emotions are important. It's almost like imagine our four core emotions are anger, fear, sadness, and joy. If we keep on focusing, we can only feel joyful because when we're joyful, people like us better, then we're being positive, we're better human beings. Yes, I agree with that to some degree. But imagine this, imagine you have four kids. Anger, fear, sadness, joy. These are your four children. And you're saying to Joy, Joy, I only want to be with you and I love you. I favor you. You always be with me. And when anger, fear, sadness come to you and say, Mommy, 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 and you're saying, No, you go away. I don't want to be with you. You guys are bad, 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 bad. Imagine how these children would feel. And this is what we're doing to our emotions, our negative emotions. We're not welcoming it. We're not loving it. We're rejecting it. We're rejecting ourselves. Welcome to the Wildly Conscious Mom Podcast, where we explore the art of self-love, conscious parenting, and spiritual growth. I am your host, Bridget Wayne, also the author of Soul Healing Journal, available on Amazon. In this modern day and age, we have put so much focus and emphasis on being positive that we have completely neglected and discounted the importance of the other spectrum of our emotions. In this episode, I want to talk about the importance of honoring all spectrums of your emotions and why feeling through your emotions can actually free you from your emotional prisons. I hope you enjoy it. I just had a crying meditation. I know this may sound weird, but I really feel like everybody needs one of those moments where you just sit down and cry for no fucking reason. It actually started when I was watching some TV while cooking, and eating. And there were just some moments in the TV show that brought up a lot of touching emotions for me. And it happened like two or three times. And I'm like, wait a second. Like, why am I crying so much today? Like, usually when I watch TV, it's not this much crying. There's something going on here. I sense that there is a lot of pent up energies in my body that is trying to release from out of me through crying. And with that awareness, I decided on the last opportunity that I had while watching TV and cried again, I decided to flow with that emotion. I turned off the TV, I sat with my tears, and I just sat there and just allowed myself to cry. I wasn't sure what I was crying about on a conscious level, logical level. I thought maybe I was crying for whatever the TV was showing. But I also believe on a deeper level, there's some other reasons that I wasn't fully consciously aware of. So I just sat there with my feelings and emotion, and I've noticed that there are parts of me that just wanted to be held, just wanted to be loved like a baby. I felt there were parts of me that was yearning and craving for parental love. I noticed there were parts of me that didn't want to adult anymore. Not today, not at this moment. I didn't want to be a mom. I didn't want to figure everything out. I didn't want to be strong. I didn't want to be an adult. I wanted to be held. I wanted to be taken care of. I wanted to be held by parental energy or just unconditional love energy to tell me, I'm right here with you. You're doing great. And I'm so, so, so freaking proud of you. And I've noticed in that moment, I just wanted to be childish for no reason, to be permitted to cry and let my emotion out without having to explain myself why I'm feeling sad, why I'm feeling the way that I feel. And I gave myself full permission to feel all that I needed to feel. I gave myself full permission to feel exhausted, to feel tired, to feel sick and tired of needing to figure everything out. And it was at those crying moments that I've come to realization that being as a mother, we're so used to organize everything, scheduling and planning everything in our mind, shouldering everything, and make sure everything in home with our kids, with our family goes as smoothly as possible. And we do this so much that we don't even realize how much mental stress we're putting on ourselves trying to figure everything out, trying to make sure everything is okay. We have spent so much time trying to make sure everyone's okay, but we have forgotten to see if we're okay. To see, is it okay for me to carry this much? Do I need a break? Do I need to be held a little bit? Do I need to be recognized, acknowledged, and appreciated? And I know a lot of us actually take pride in how much we can do for our kids and for our family. And there's nothing right or wrong about any of this. This is just how we naturally are as mothers. But there needs to be a balance, because how long do you think you can continue on this journey carrying so much weight on your shoulders? It's like climbing on a very steep mountain, carry a gigantic baggage on our back, trying to go as far as we can, as fast as we can. And even when our body is crying for help, is crying and screaming, please just give me a break, we go, no, let's keep going. We have more to carry. Let's keep going until we couldn't go anymore, until our body can't take it anymore. And mommies, if you're listening to this episode, if there are times where you feel like you want to break down and cry, let yourself break down and cry. Let yourself be a child for a moment. Let yourself let all these stress out through tears. Let yourself stop momming for the moment. Let yourself be vulnerable with your feelings. Let yourself be completely naked and honest with how you truly feel, whether it be exhaustion, resentment, anger, sadness, or fear, or whatever that may be, insecurity, or even happiness. Allow yourself to feel it all. You know why kids are so happy? Because they cry whenever they want to, they laugh whenever they want to. There's never a holding back of, oh, I shouldn't be too happy because, other people might not appreciate it when I'm having a great life. They don't judge themselves for being sad. They don't judge themselves for crying or throwing tantrum in the public, because at that moment, that's what they need. But as adults, we have learned to manage our emotions and packaged it so well that a lot of time we don't even let it out anymore. And because we don't let it out, it comes out in moments when frustrations kicks in, when the kids throw tantrum and we can't take it anymore, or we're losing patience because we have been so exhausted and have not been able to sleep well, or we're stressing out because of financial situation or relationship with families, whatever that may be. But if you give yourself moments to be completely vulnerable with your true emotions without judging it, it has a place to go. It gets let out. So it doesn't have to keep building it up within you, inside you, in your body. You see, our emotions are like little toddlers. We're all moms. We understand how toddlers can act. Toddlers, when they need your attention, they will keep going, mommy, mommy, like a million, quadrillion times until you go, oh my gosh. Right? So imagine your anger, sadness, fears, even joy. They're trying to get your attention whenever you're so exhausted, stressed out, insecure, or just doubtful, or just frustrated. Your emotion is trying to get your attention to listen to them, to love them. See, have you ever met a toddler where you go, okay, stop it now, stop it, and they would stop crying? They probably would for 2 seconds, and then they will find ways to keep throwing tantrum until you give them attention. Now, imagine if a toddler comes and trying to get your attention by going, mommy, mommy, and instead of saying, shut up, stop, go away, you sit down and go, what's going on, honey? Mommy's here. Do you think the toddler will feel better as soon as he or she receives your attention? It's the same thing with your emotions. Your emotions are like toddlers. They're constantly trying to get your attention. So if there are moments you can feel the anger, resentment is building up to the point where it's about to explode, don't hold it back. Find a quiet place with yourself to let it all out, whether it be crying, punching the pillow, or go exercising, running, or just screaming. Allow yourself to let those emotions out. Give yourself the space and permission to feel all that you need to feel without judgment, without telling yourself you shouldn't be feel this way. You should be more mature about it. It's not even a big deal. Why are you making such a big deal? Why are you crying? You should just get over it now. No, none of that. We have more than enough judgment of ourselves throughout the whole entire day. If you could record and track all your mental thoughts to yourself, and judgments that you have for yourself, you're like, holy shit, how did I go through my day with all these criticism and judgments that I have for myself? I definitely cannot take it if someone else were to say those things to me. But guess what? We consciously or unconsciously say all those mean things to ourselves, whether we are aware of it or not. So if you've noticed there are certain emotions that's ready to come out, go and ask for someone to help you with your kids for the moment. Go and let yourself release those emotions because they're ready to come out. They don't want to be bottled in anymore. After The Law of Attraction, The Secret movie came out, a lot of people focus a lot on being positive because they believe by you being positive, you attract positivity into your life. I definitely agree that positivities are very important to live a very joyous life. But I also believe that all emotions are important. It's almost like imagine our four core emotions are anger, fear, sadness, and joy. If we keep on focusing, we can only feel joyful because when we're joyful, people like us better, then we're being positive, we're better human beings. Yes, I agree with that to some degree. But imagine this. Imagine you have four kids. Anger, fear, sadness, joy. These are your four children. And you're saying to Joy, Joy, I only want to be with you and I love you. I favor you. You always be with me. And when anger, fear, sadness come to you and say, Mommy, 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 and you're saying, no, you go away. I don't want to be with you. You guys are bad, 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 bad. Imagine how these children would feel. And this is what we're doing to our emotions, our negative emotions. We're not welcoming it. We're not loving it. We're rejecting it. We're rejecting ourselves. But what happens when you love a child who's throwing a tantrum, who's having a meltdown? What happens when you just sit down and hold a space for the child to go through his emotion? What happens when you just said, honey, I'm right here. Mommy's right here. It's okay. I'm right here with you. It's okay. I'm not going anywhere. I love you. How do you think? How do you think the child will feel when you just hold the space for the child to go through what he needs to go through? Would he still continue to throw a tantrum forever? Or will he feel better in a short few minutes? I've met many moms who are trying to make everything good for their kids. I have met many moms who want to be very strong for their kids. But what does that mean? What does being strong mean? Being strong doesn't mean never cry. Being strong doesn't mean that you have to have figure everything out. Being strong doesn't mean that you have to take care of everybody. Being strong doesn't mean that you have to pretend everything is okay when really internally you don't feel okay. You want to cry, you want to ask for help, but you're not sure. But I gotta be strong. I actually met a mom last year who was going through a deep, deep depression. She said, I really didn't think I was going to make it, but I have to be strong for my baby, right? She's still so young. I gotta be strong, right? But what does that mean? If you want to be strong and if you want to instill the mindset of being strong in your children, then teach them, show them, and guide them that vulnerability is the new strength. Not feeling your emotion doesn't mean being strong. Not feeling your emotion means let me avoid it because I don't know if I can handle it. I'm not sure if I'm going to collapse if I admit to myself that I can't handle this anymore. Whether you like to believe it or not, the more you're trying to avoid your emotions, the more you're giving your power away to the emotions you don't want to feel, the more you're scared of your emotions internally. There were so many times when I was sitting in the meditation or I do inner work and be completely honest, vulnerable, and naked with my own emotions. There were times where I didn't like to admit that I was feeling shameful. I felt guilty, that I felt scared. These are very vulnerable emotions that I did not want to feel. Yet, when I allow myself to just sit with those emotions and I love myself through those feelings, I realize I don't have to be afraid of these feelings anymore. When these feelings come up again in the future, I hold a bigger space for myself to process through any emotions that I need to process through because I know they're just parts of me that need to be loved. And I become stronger through that. And this is what happens when we don't face our emotions. A lot of people are so good at avoiding their emotions that they will do anything and everything possible to avoid what they need to feel at the moment. Meaning, let me get busy with everything that I'm supposed to do with my family, my kids. Let me make sure everyone's okay. Let me go watch TV. Let me go do some shopping and let me drink some alcohol, whatever vices that could help them not feel what they need to feel at the moment because they're afraid if I feel it, what if I can't stop? What if I go so deep into it that I can't get out? Well, let me share this perspective with you. Based on my experience of working on myself and hundreds of our clients, I've noticed this. Well, one thing that I know for sure, these emotions are just energies, emotions. If you don't allow yourself to let these emotions out through crying, through journaling, through taking a walk, maybe sometimes all you need to do is screaming or just yell and cry privately by yourself or whatever it is. I know for a fact that these energies need to go somewhere. If you don't let it out, it will just continue to stay in it until the next experience comes again that triggers another emotions of anger, sadness, or fear. Then you just add more into the bottle. Doing more things won't help you heal these emotions, but sitting with these emotional toddlers will help you calm your nervous system down, will truly help you calm down because now your emotional toddlers are now heard. They don't feel judged. They now feel loved. They feel accepted. And they no longer need to scream at you to get your attention anymore because now you have finally sit down to listen to your little children of anger, fear, and sadness and joy and say, I am right here with you and I love you no matter what. And I promise you, really, that's all these little emotional toddler needs, without any judgments, without you needing or having to try to fix yourself, trying to make yourself feel better. It's not what these little emotional toddler needs. They just need a space to be heard and loved. And I'm here sharing these and I'm here sharing these with you because I want you to start practicing unconditional love with yourself, especially with the emotions and the feelings you don't want to feel but keeps occurring. Because until you fully allow yourself to accept and love those parts of you that you don't like so much, it will continue to come back at you until you learn to love and accept it. And when you learn to regulate your own emotions this way through unconditional love, through compassion, through listening and understanding with your own emotions, guess what? Your children are going to learn it from you, consciously or unconsciously. They will learn to process their emotion in the healthiest way possible without feeling like they need to judge themselves, without feeling like being angry is not okay, without feeling like being sad is shameful. Because this is what the world and the society has instilled in us. Why? Why do you cry? Stop crying already. Or people cry, we immediately want to make them feel better because we're not taught how to be okay and comfortable around negative emotions. So if you want to instill strength in your children, show them how to be friends with all of their emotions because they're all parts of us. And when we start to be friends with all of our emotions and learn to understand and love them, we live a more harmonious and balanced life. And if your children learn this wisdom and strength from you, they will be invincible because they will then become the master of their life instead of letting their emotions to take charge of their life. They will learn to operate from a place of love instead of a place of fear.